Whoa, what's up, people? Welcome, everybody. Hope everyone is well. We are live. I think we are live. I can see the chat. Let us know if everything is good, if you can hear us, if you can hear me. I have a very special guest today, very special guest. We have Andre from Andre's Restart. We are here. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about the Mario movie. We're going to dive into Zelda a little bit more, and then we're going to look beyond Zelda into the holiday season. Andre, welcome to the show. Massive pleasure to have you here. How are you, my friend?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Good. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm excited to have this chat with you about Mario and Zelda. I think it's gonna be a good time.
That's it. We've both watched the movie. So I know you really liked it. I saw your post on Twitter. I think I saw it the day after, and I was a bit worried because I'd read a lot of people were saying there wasn't much story. So I was like, oh god, am I going to get let down? I was trying to temper my expectations. Sure. I really enjoyed it though. I really enjoyed it. Well, before we start, let me ask you, what are you playing at the moment?
What am I playing? So, I haven't been playing a lot lately. I've been fairly busy. Been playing Tetris.
You've been playing Tetris. Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
the Tetris movie. No, I have not seen the Tetris movie yet. I do plan on it though.
Yeah, it's meant to be amazing. I really want to watch it.
Yeah. I currently have a trial going for Apple TV, so I'll probably give it a go soon. Yeah,
I need to catch that. Like I myself, I've been living up to my name and leaving a lot of games unfinished. And the latest has been Bayonetta 3, which it was awesome. It was really good. It's not the prettiest of games. I've heard like a lot of people say it's quite an ugly game, and it kind of shows the Switch's age a little bit. And there are parts for sure in the beginning that I was kind of shocked. They're like, oh damn, this is quite an ugly game. But the action is amazing. I don't know why I haven't finished it, but I would say, I don't know if you played the Bayonetta games, but
I have. I'm actually, it's been a few weeks since I've played, but I'm deep into Bayonetta 1.
Yeah.
I want to finish. I have Bayonetta 3. I started Bayonetta 3, but I want to finish Bayonetta 1 first. Then I'll go to Bayonetta 2, and then I'll get to 3. But I have played most of 1.
Yeah.
And I've played a bit of 3, but I want to wait until I get through it. And I don't know if I'll ever get into what call it, the spin-off.
I need
Origins.
I need to get that.
I Lost Demon,
That's it. I downloaded the demo and I still haven't jumped into it yet. But I heard good things. Like it's weird, when I first saw it, it didn't really grab me, but what I've heard people talk about it, people really, really seem to like it.
Seeing the game, some gameplay, like it looks like a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a little. I just always felt like it was a little odd to kind of like throw out a spin-off months after a big release we waited years for. Right?
Yeah,
that
so quick as well.
Threw me for a loop. Yeah, very quick turnaround there, but it looks cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Let's see what the chat is saying. I've already seen straight away. My eyes went to like Metroid hype. Keyword. Who's that? Melindy's in the chat.
Be louder.
Is that what someone said?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
I can be louder.
Yeah, because you sounded all right to me, but I might be able to make you louder on my end as well, actually.
If you right-click me on Discord.
That's it, yeah. Let me do that. Let's have a look, see here. Okay. I'll put there.
Right-click you can get up to, push it up to 200.
Yeah, see, I've got you on 200 now, so we should...
Yeah, hopefully I don't sound too loud now. So.
No. Yeah, that's what they want. What's Melindy saying? Melindy saying, and the spin-off of $60. That is true. The price did get me on the Bayonetta spin-off, $60. That was that we're talking like Metroid Dread kind of price there, And
it's a good game though, so
that's the thing. People complained about the price of Metroid Dread, and to me, that game was fully worth the price tag. That game was incredible, incredible game.
Dread was my game of the year for.
That was my game of the year. It was painful. Like I died. The amount of deaths I had in that game was brutal sometimes.
I played through it several times. I 100% the boss rush mode.
What? No, what? I played it on regular. I didn't even try and go in hard afterwards. Like, no way.
No, so I did it on normal. Then I 100%ed normal. Then I did hard mode. Then I did dread mode when that came out because they added a harder difficulty where you die if you just get hit.
Yeah.
And then I did the normal boss rush mode. Then there's the time rush, and there's also a dread boss rush. So I played it for a good while. Yeah, I was I had time in the beginning of 2022. So like let's say like what, maybe 13, 14 months ago.
Yeah.
Because the job I had at the time, I basically was just kind of like waiting. I was working at home. I was just kind of waiting for calls to come in
Yeah.
for like 10 hours straight. So I was like, well, I guess I'll play Metroid.
Yeah.
while I wait for the calls, so
Honestly, dude, like I would take my Switch to work and just like sneak around the back. Like any time I would play that. I'd literally like I work. Some of the people in the chat know I work in TV, and there's a bunch of times I would be hiding behind literally studios. No one tell my employers, but I'd be hiding behind the studios on my Switch on Metroid, you know, like, and just playing all day. But yeah, I mean, it took me a long while to finish that game. It was super hard. Some of the people here in the chat saw me die a million times. But all right, we'll get into the first topic. I don't know how many people who in the chat has actually seen the Mario movie. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about it for a little bit, for about 10 minutes, and then we'll dive into another 10 minutes of spoiler chat. But I'll put up a sign to just let you know that, you know, we're talking spoilers at the moment. If you don't want to hear any of that, go away for 10 minutes, come back. If the sign isn't up, you'll know that's it, we're done with it. If you see the spoilers sign up, it means we're talking Mario spoilers. That's the only part of the podcast where we'll, you know, be talking any kind of spoilers. Let me just see who's seen it. Oh, Melindy's seen it. What did you think, Melindy? Editor's happy with the sound. That's good. Right. Okay. So we'll get into it. All right. So we're gonna start without spoilers. I'll put the little tag up when there's spoilers. So okay. So I have to ask you, what did you think? OJ, you know, were you know, did it meet your expectations?
Yes, it did meet my expectations. But you know, like you know, before we went live, you made a little bit of mention that, you know, you heard about the criticisms of the movie from critics.
Yeah.
So you were trying to keep your expectations in check, and I heard, you know, I saw the same thing, and I had a similar reaction. I believed that the movie I would still love the movie. But I guess. Yeah, you know, it put it into question a little bit. I think I was mostly just upset because there's a lot of people who were speaking ill of the movie because of that.
Yeah.
But I had a feeling that this was a situation where the people who reviewed the movie just had a very different perspective than how people watching the movie would feel.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and for that reason, you know, I made a video, I made a few posts saying that critics just are wrong in this case, right? And I think maybe there are scenarios where that might be a bad take, but I think right now history is proving to be on my side with this one because the sales are incredible, right? The fan reaction has been incredible. So so lots of people are watching this movie, lots of people are enjoying the movie. But for me personally, when I got into it, I enjoyed it. Like, was I expecting the story to be a perfect story? No, I was never expecting to be a perfect story. From the get-go, I always understood, at least I believe, that this was going to be something that would be fun, enjoyable, family friendly, so it could reach a large audience. You know, a lot of kids would be watching it, but also there would be a lot of references, and that this would be something that would be a love letter to fans, and that's exactly what the movie was.
100%.
The only thing that surprised me, because I mean, there were a couple plot contrivances here and there, but I can kind of let that go because it's a family-friendly movie. It's fast-paced. For me, it's more like a fun roller coaster, and I got that. And I still feel like we got some good character moments. They still squeezed in the story details, the background. So we got that stuff just in a fast-paced way, I would say. But what really surprised me was the voice acting.
Oh man!
Because while I had so much faith that it would be good, I had faith that it would be solid, but by the end of the movie, I realized, I wasn't really thinking about it. And I think that's what's most important, because when you have acting, the idea with acting is that people are immersed, right? If you have to stop and think about why are they doing that? Like, that seems kind of weird, doesn't seem realistic. Like, that's breaking the immersion. My immersion wasn't broken watching the movie. Maybe early on, like the first couple lines for Luigi, I was like, oh, that okay, but I got used to it. And then for Donkey Kong, when he first came on, it was like a moment where I had to get used to it.
That's the one I had to get used to for sure, Donkey Kong, But it's funny, like I wrote on Twitter, I think yesterday, that I'm surprised how quiet people have been on Chris Pratt, because the amount of criticism he got based on, I don't know, a line in the original trailer was insane, and he sounded incredible as Mario. Like I was telling my girlfriend yesterday, I said, other than Bowser, Jack Black, who was unbelievable as Bowser, I thought Chris Pratt, for me, was my second favorite. I just thought he was Mario. He was seamless as Mario. I did not think about Chris Pratt after the first 10 seconds. I just thought, wow, that sounds really good.
I think he did an amazing job.
Yeah,
I really did.
But I just think they
put above him. If Chris Pratt was second for you in terms of performance,
I have to say it's probably going to be a cliched answer now, but I have to go with Jack Black as Bowser. I just thought,
interesting,
man. Like I don't know. I because he had different layers. He was obviously the big bombastic kind of growling dinosaur there. But then he had those kind of really silly, sweet pining over princess moments. I thought he did really, really well. Like he had a lot of layers. His singing performances, like his little musical numbers were incredible. Like I thought he is just Bowser. I liked all the voices. I thought Toad was awesome. Luigi I liked. The only character, I said this to my girlfriend yesterday, I said that I just thought that is just not this character. For me, it was Cranky Kong. I just thought, for my opinion, I just thought that's just not what I imagined to be. He sounded way too young. I thought Cranky Kong. For my part.
I hear what you're saying there. Yeah.
What did you think? Who was your favorite? Who did you think was the best voice acting?
So I might be in the minority here, but I feel Jack Black is not one or two.
Really?
But I know I'm in the minority. I'm not saying he did great, because I agree with you. He has the range.
Yeah.
I get, and maybe it's just because I just didn't like Bowser as much of a character as I liked some others, and so maybe there's some bias there. I think they did amazing, just for the record.
Yeah.
And I will say that it did take me a little bit for me to kind of get used to, just kind of like his more whimsical nature in this movie with the piano and the singing.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, right? I love that now it's like a hit single, Peaches like that. That is amazing that happened, and I think that he was a great choice. But I guess what I'm really getting at is that I think I just really enjoyed both Mario and Peach in their roles. I think Peach did a great job.
She did. She sounded incredible. She really did.
Yeah, so between Mario and Peach for like the best performance in the movie, personally, to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they all did stellar. Cranky Kong, I had heard other people say that they weren't a big fan of Cranky Kong either, going into the movie, and I will concede that it's not what I would expect.
Yeah.
Right. So that maybe there's a little bit of a mismatch for what our expectations are for Cranky Kong. But I'll say this though, to defend the voice. While it was not something I expected, I was able to get used to it. I didn't think it was bad. I just think it just wasn't what I expected. You know. And what's interesting is that apparently Donkey Kong refers to Cranky Kong as his father and not his grandfather. So maybe they went for a younger voice on purpose.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to squeeze that, minimize the gap between them, because we've always thought of Cranky Kong as like, being a very old Kong.
That's the thing.
They might have made him a bit younger, and hence why they went with a different voice there.
That's a good point, because we do what I imagine him from the the 94 Rare games in the wheelchair rocking, with the walking stick, and that's
right. His wife is like a ghost. So
which you're right, which he's not in the movie. You're right. He is. Well, he is clearly like a slightly younger version of that character. So that is true. That is interesting. Did you catch many of the? I don't know how many Easter eggs you caught, but my goddamn, I must have caught 30, 40, something stupid.
I'm sure there are many that I've missed, but I felt like I was noticing things left and right constantly.
Yeah.
Did you see the R-Wing?
Yes. It was on top of, it was in the bedroom on top of the TV, right?
Yeah.
And like the punch out posters and stuff like that.
I saw an F-Zero poster, an Ice Climbers poster.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
I'm sure there was a jump
Apparently there's a Zelda reference, and I didn't catch
That's what I was looking for. I wonder if this, exactly. That's what exactly. I thought there's got to be a Zelda one.
I have not seen it, and I Googled it. I didn't search extensively, so I don't know. Maybe maybe I gotta watch the movie a second time. I guess
I need to see it a second time for sure. Yeah.
I don't know when I'm gonna have time to, but
no. That's what they're saying. So Melinda's saying the Peaches song was great. Yeah, people loved that. I caught a comment you left earlier, Melinda, where she said that a lot of people just thought that that's it. That it was a bad example of Chris Pratt's voice acting in the trailer. Which I did think it's true, because I did think the rest of the film, he didn't sound... It just sounded different from in the trailer. In the trailer, to me, I did think it just kind of sounded like him. I was still fine with it. I wasn't like people were hating it. I just thought it sounded all right. But it didn't it didn't showcase what he ended up sounding like in the rest of the film. Because I think that's why so many people came out surprised with him. God damn, actually, he sounds really good. Because there wasn't that much of it in the trailer, and I think they kind of, some people say, "Oh, they did him hard there," they didn't do the best.
I wondered, I defended Chris Pratt before the movie came out. I never said that I thought the voice was amazing, but my stance was that it was serviceable.
Yeah.
And I was arguing that perhaps a lot of the awkwardness for us as fans, kind of hearing his voice in the trailers, just really came down to it being a change that we're not used to, and that it's a small sample size. And if we hear the voice across more scenes with more context, 100%. It might make a little bit more sense to us.
100%.
And so maybe that's what it is, or maybe they changed the voice after the backlash afterwards.
Do you imagine? Sure. Oh my God.
Yeah. But what I can say with confidence is that when I watched the movie, that performance matched perfectly. I thought they did great. as I said earlier, it's between Mario or Peach for me personally as the best performance in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. I've just seen Templo Soltero. Hola Templo, ¿qué tal? Templo said, a ver, ¿qué? Había visto el video de sobre. So I think Templo is saying that he's seen, ¿viste el video de Andre? Because I said, so Templo is one of my friends, a YouTuber. And he does YouTube videos in Spanish. But I sent him your videos anyways. I said, "Dude, man, you gotta watch his videos. Videos are incredible." I was like, "I know it's in English, but let's just watch his videos."
I do speak a bit of Spanish.
Do you? No way. Templo's gonna love you. So I'm Spanish. I was born in Spain. And Templo, ¿qué país vives? Siempre me olvido. I can't remember which country Templo's in. But I've been on this podcast a few times, and with my terrible Spanish. But man, he will love it. I
don't want to pretend my Spanish is perfect. Yo puedo hablar el idioma, pero necesito un poquito práctica. Pero puedo defenderse si necesito.
¿Viste Templo? No, that's perfect. What are you talking about? Templo's gonna be look at him. Templo's well excited. Eso, de Panama, Templo. Eso, there you go. He's from Panama. One of our other good friends, Billy, I'll probably jump on. He's from Panama as well. Someone asked about the giveaway. For shame on me, I forgot to mention the giveaway. We're gonna give away right at the end of the podcast. So we're going to talk about another 10 minutes about Mario, then jump into Zelda, and then finish up with a little bit of speculation about what's coming out at the end of the year. And then we'll give away and I think actually my Nightbot, I saw it in the chat, so I think my Nightbot finally is working. So hopefully the Nightbot is going to give away the game to someone random. So I'll give everyone a warning beforehand. And we'll make sure everyone comments, everyone who wants to go for the giveaway, to say who wants it. And then once everyone's name is in the draw, we'll let the Nightbot do its thing and pick out a winner. And if you don't win this time, do not worry, because we are giving away another copy of it the day before the game is released. It is on my Twitter. I will keep putting up reminders closer to the time as well. So do not worry if you don't win today. And for those of you new to the channel, make sure you check out Andre's channel. Andre's Restart. His channel is pinned at the top of the chat. He is dude, man. You are killing it. You are rushing towards 25k. You are accelerating towards that target. I know you want to get there by the time Zelda is out. I think you're gonna make it.
The goal.
Yeah, man, you're gonna make it, dude. I think your content, for anyone who hasn't seen Andre's content, his content is incredible. He does really deep dives into Zelda and Nintendo in general. Really interesting videos, really interesting viewpoints, really high quality content. I urge you, go check it out. Go subscribe. Go like. It's pinned at the top of the chat. I will remind you before the end of the video again. And so now we are going to talk. We're going to spend about 10 minutes spoilery talk about the Mario movie. So if you don't want to hear about that, disappear for 10 minutes. We're going to have a little. Look, this is the little thing we're going to have here. Let's put it up so people know. Where is it gone? We've got to put the little warning, little spoiler warning. Imagine I can't find it after all that. That'd be hilarious. Oh, there it is. So there you go. We've got a little spoiler alert. When this is up, it means we are talking spoilery about Mario. It's the only topic we're going to have spoilers on. So we're going to start now for about 10 minutes and then, then there'll be no more spoilers. So when you come back, if this little alert isn't up, you're safe and that's it. So it'll be about 10 minutes maximum. So if you don't want to hear about Mario, spoileries talk, disappear for now, and we'll catch you back in 10 minutes. For those who have seen it already in the chat, I know some of you have, stick around. We're going to delve more into the story, so I may say the lack of, and things we liked, things we didn't like, things we wished for, sequel talk, post-credit scene stuff. There was a lot. So, okay, I'll ask you straight. What did you think of the story? I wasn't expecting a great story, I'll be honest. I probably was expecting a little bit more of a story. I don't know why. I guess because I thought, the games don't have a great story, but I thought they would flesh it out a little bit more for the movie. But I do think they went a different way of, Nintendo famously say that they never think about story overly much when they create their games because they think it gets in the way of gameplay. But I thought here they made this movie as a celebration, right? It was like almost like a theme park ride full of nostalgia and Easter eggs and celebrations. And I think it was kind of like, in the same way Mario was kind of rushing from land to land, in different parts of the different worlds. It was kind of what the audience, I think they were trying to do for the audience. They were kind of just trying to hold you by the hand and just take you through like memory lane, really, Yeah.
If I have to nitpick, and this is, if I'm nitpicking, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, I said it earlier. Like I think because of the nature of the movie, I gloss over some of the plot contrivances, right?
Yeah.
But I'll say that one part that I found a little weird was just how Mario is basically able to kind of waltz into the castle.
Yeah.
And there were guards. So there were guards, but Toad's like, oh, don't worry, we'll get past them, no problem.
It was seamless.
And then he just runs into Peach so easily.
Yeah.
So that to me kind of fired off alarms, hey, that was too easy, right? But and then Peach was like, "Oh, you're human."
Yeah,
checks out. Okay, you can come with me, right? It was, and she was willing to train him for a whole day. So it's kind of fun. But beyond that, it's fine. I was. When I heard the movie was 90 minutes, I was like, okay, so it's not a really long movie, but that's fine. It's family friendly. It would be fast paced, but watching the movie though, I guess I didn't really think about everything they would have to show off.
Yeah,
and everything they kind of squeezed within those 90 minutes, I think is impressive. They squeezed a lot in 90 minutes.
Yeah,
for sure. They really did a really good job of squeezing it into such a speedy amount of time. And I wonder, maybe they went with the 90 minutes because their goal was they want as many people to watch this movie as possible.
Yeah.
So they made it a short, fast-paced movie because it's about reaching a large audience. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think all the decisions that were made were calculated and well thought out. So a critic might come and be like, "Oh, well, this was stupid. It shouldn't have done this. It shouldn't have done this." Well, that's based off your perspective of what a movie should be. But what Nintendo Illumination wanted to do, they did it. It was fun, fast-paced. Fans love it. Tons of people are watching it. Kids love it. This is, I think, for everything they wanted to do, this movie is accomplishing. But to actually do spoilers, right?
Let's do it.
I loved, I love seeing the Mushroom Kingdom. I loved the beginning. Actually, I thought the beginning was amazing. Seeing this whole Italian family living in Brooklyn for Mario and Luigi, that, establishing that lore.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was cool.
I even like the way they just flat out, they just explain the accents. They why they sound different, and the fact that they use it for a commercial as kind of like their niche kind of thing. So I kind of like that they just straight off the bat, the first couple of minutes, they say, okay, this is why you think we sound like this. We don't actually sound like this. There's a reason. And, and then it quickly it's just swept onto the carpet.
People were attacking Chris Pratt for sounding like some sort of merge of Brooklyn and Italian.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's what Mario is.
Exactly.
He comes from an Italian family that's living in Brooklyn. Because the thing is, New York is historically a place where a lot of people come from around the world.
Yeah.
And they try to start a life in America.
Yeah.
So there's lots of Italian immigrants and Puerto Ricans and Cubans and all sorts of cultures trying to live in New York.
Yeah.
It's a lot staying in Brooklyn. It's a melting pot. So it kind of fits that kind of like American story, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought also. I actually liked, like you said, there's scenes of them at home with their family having, spaghetti and just having those big kind of, like in Spain it's similar as well. We have like big families, and it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure, because I did read, there was a couple of Charles Martinet, what do you call it, cameos. And the first one, I think, is right in the beginning of the restaurant. There's a guy playing
He looks like an older Mario.
Exactly, right? And he's playing, I think he's on an arcade machine. He turns around and what does he say? He says one thing. He says like a line. I can't remember what it is. But I
don't remember what it was.
But it's quite...
I knew that was Charles Martinet when I heard it. I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah. Because there was rumors beforehand that he was going to be playing Mario's father, and I did think, God, that would have been incredible. I didn't know if I would believe it or not. I did think it was a bit, would they give him such a big role? But supposedly he did have more roles, and I know online people trying to dissect and trying to figure out which are the cameos he has.
Beyond just the mechanic guy, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What did you think? I know one of the criticisms the film had was, I read in a bunch of places, a lot of people didn't like that Mario and Luigi got separated, more or less for the entirety of the film, really. And I could see that because I did like their chemistry. So I did think it was...
Well, watch the sequel.
This is it, right? Yeah. So like... Well, I guess everyone here in the chat you've all seen it, right? The people who left here. Someone said, do I remember? Mario Romano, I do remember you. Welcome back, my good friend. Hope you're all well. Almost like human. Yo, good to see you as well. And Nezda's in the chat. Nezda, have you seen it? I think he's seen it. Yes, I was like eagerly waiting for the post-credit scene. Of course, we do see the Yoshi. Were you surprised that Yoshi wasn't in the film initially? I know we got to see a Yoshi. There was a scene where we got to see one.
Yeah, there was Yoshi, but it wasn't Yoshi. They were Yoshis.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly,
it's not our Yoshi. It's just the Yoshis. It's funny. First, let me get. I do want to get to your Yoshi point, but it's just to go back to the brothers thing.
Yeah,
I actually, it's one of the reasons why. It's another reason why I appreciate the beginning, because we get to see the Mario and Luigi dynamic. Like the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, it's more just Mario and Luigi in Brooklyn. So it's not like we had no time. They had no time together. They did. They showed the relationship, and then at the end, he was kind of Mario's goal. I actually really appreciated the story because I have a brother that's about my age, right? So I felt like the relationship I have with my brother is kind of like the relationship Mario has with Luigi.
Yeah.
So I kind of really it tugged at my personal heartstrings.
Yeah.
Right. And I also watched the movie with my brother, so we kind of
oh, that's nice.
We were on the same wavelength there, so it was pretty cool. So I appreciated that, and Luigi still had his moments though.
Luigi was awesome.
He was brave in his own cowardly way, right? And he still had a fair bit of action at the end. He was a part of that final fight. He was there. He was relevant. I don't think Luigi was disrespected.
No. I don't think it was. No, and I think that, there was a lot of care with their characters, and I do love how they really went in on his Luigi's Mansion persona. That when he was walking through the woods, he's got that kind of cowardly, shaky manner about him. They really honed in on that super well. I know there was rumors again of that maybe being a spin-off, maybe a Luigi's Mansion spin-off, which I would like. I don't know if they will do that. I feel like
maybe a short or something in the future. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to the point of other movies, it sets up a whole bunch. Peach makes a reference to other galaxies.
Yeah.
So like she said something to the effect of like there's like a whole bunch of universes out there, right? So it's basically hinting at there's potential for all sorts of worlds to be there, right? Like there could be a Star Fox world.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
Universe.
Oh my god. Pikmin world.
Like,
oh god.
Yeah, like all of these are possible. Also Donkey Kong, like the amount of energy and personality they gave Donkey Kong, like they can totally give him his own movie. Like I see, I can see that. I think a Donkey Kong movie is more likely than the Luigi's Mansion movie. Actually.
Yeah, I think God, there was a moment where I think it's where they're sinking underwater, and Donkey Kong finds the the barrel, the rocket barrel, and they fly out of it. I was like,
loved it.
That was like, so good.
If you're a country fan, you know, like the rocket moments are so cool.
Yeah,
I love that. I love their relationship too. Like Donkey Kong was like a little upset that he lost to Mario, but it was also like a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a grudge, really almost like a grudge and respect, that they had for it. I think their dynamic was amazing. Like I gotta say, because there's something when I was watching in the cinema, and a lot of people have said this, but I really think it's the best animation I've seen. Like the level of detail, like down to like the fabric of like Mario's hat was insane. There's a part where actually we was just talking about where him and Donkey Kong are floating in the sea, and the water particles just look insane. Like I turned over to my girlfriend about 3 or 4 times and said to her, like, I've never seen animation look this detailed ever. There was so, like the squid in the sea when it sticks to Donkey Kong's face, and you can see every little bit of like rubber on the squid's eyes, it's just like Rainbow Road, the carts, just like every surface. It was just like Bowser, like you can see all the texture on his skin, but like just, like every strand of hair, it was like the level of care that they put into that film. It's just astounding. Like I've seen, Finding Nemo, Up, whatever, and they all look incredible, but like it's
another level.
Oh,
it's
dude.
Another level.
Like I remember looking at Mario's shoe, thinking like his shoe looks insane. It's just the textures, like you could touch it. His jeans, like every little movement, like the creases in the jeans would like, develop and move, and the lighting. It's just like honestly, I've never seen anything look that beautiful and that detailed. It was just like a sugar rush. It was that the whole Mario Kart part, of going on Rainbow Road, just honestly, it blew my mind that something could look that pretty. That's probably one of that and the music. I've got to say the music throughout the entire film was unbelievable, but not just like the main themes and such, like, things like that, but they had like little musical Easter eggs. So there's one point I can't remember how it's presented, but you hear the GameCube console intro music being played. I can't remember what part of the film it was, but I remember, oh my god, that's the GameCube console little open, start
that. The ringtone.
The ringtone,
exciting. Yeah.
And they had loads of little moments like that, where they were just sneaking little sound effects, and and just even just the way they remixed the themes.
Everything.
It was it to me it was just it just showed the only thing, not that I was disappointed, but it was something that I did wonder would be the case, is that how protective Nintendo are with their IP, and because it was Miyamoto so heavily involved, and I always think this is the guy who thought GoldenEye was too violent and wanted the bad guys and the good guys to be shaking hands in the credits and stuff like that, and so I expected the humor to be not too risky, basically. Like in Pixar films, for example, you always have those jokes that kids understand, but the adults understand on a different level, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I knew that I kind of knew there wouldn't be that kind of humor, and I was kind of a little bit disappointed. Like I was trying to explain to my girlfriend, like what an example, and the only one I could think of was like in Toy Story when the Mr. Potato Head is annoyed with someone and he takes off his lips and kind of kisses his own butt with it. That kind of
those moments. Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah. So and so I thought, I wonder if they will take those kind of liberties, and I kind of
it doesn't look like they did. I don't I was okay with the humor. I mean, they had the Luma stuff, which like the Luma had a very cutesy baby voice, but would like speak of like, you know, the grand abstract darkness, which was funny,
Yeah.
a little bit, but nothing too to your point, not like tongue in cheek.
That's it, tongue in
But
cheek. That's the
yeah,
that's the best way to put it. Exactly.
yeah,
That for me is the only thing that I was like, I wish there was a bit more. But like, it's funny because when I saw that, I instantly thought that's Miyamoto. That's Miyamoto having a tight hand on it. But I just watched or heard yesterday a interview with the two directors of the film, and they said the exact opposite. They said Miyamoto actually was the most open and was letting them try anything, you know, and actually would always kind of urge them like, yeah, man, you know, have more creative freedom and, you know, see what works, see what doesn't. And so that actually really surprised me. And it kind of made me think, well, maybe in the sequel, maybe they'll kind of push a bit more. Because the guys who did the like Teen Titans.
they may.
Yes.
They may.
Who knows?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, so I got big hopes, and like we were saying, like I think before we went on live, like the I don't know if anyone here in the chat has seen, but the film is done. It's breaking records everywhere. It's made. I think they estimated it's made like 377 million in the first 5 days, which is insane. Like it was estimated at first to make 225, which was already a high figure. So it's shattering records everywhere.
Yeah, I do want to put a caveat here. Not every movie has a 5-day launch.
It's true.
So, you know, but that said, regardless, like the very good numbers, and we'll see how this thing shakes out. But I mean, the fact that the Mario movie is probably going to hit like the billion mark in the box office, like it's going to be in the top 50 most, like, you know, most lucrative movies ever.
Yeah.
So, like, where it falls in that top 50, we'll see. But it's looking like it's going to blow past all the Sonic movies and even all Illumination movies.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, I think that says a lot. And you know, kind of going back to your point about just kind of the whatchamacallit, like how detailed the movie is.
Yeah.
Like they brought up in one of the directs how they came up with new technologies for this movie. Like they were pushing the boundary of what Illumination could do.
Yeah.
And man, like what a win for Illumination Universal, because this is a big deal for them. That they're gonna have one of their most successful movies, and they're gonna do more.
Yeah.
Like that is, it's not confirmed, but it's effectively is. Like I think there was an interview where Miyamoto said, yeah, like we definitely see our partnership continuing forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going back to the post credit scene. They have something I'll say. I remember when I was waiting in the credits. I knew there was gonna be a post credit scene, and I said to my family that was with me to watch the movie, I said, you know, they pretty much did everything I kind of wanted to do, except for one thing, and that's Yoshi. And then post credits, the egg, and it hatches, and you hear Yoshi, and I was like, yes, that's what I wanted.
Yelled it out in the cinema. I was like, Yoshi! You know, like I yelled it out. I was so happy. No, you're right. Like, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say that, you know, I think that hard suggests a sequel, and in that sequel, Yoshi will be a part of it. I think Mario's gonna be riding Yoshi, and it's gonna be a cool, fun adventure.
Yeah,
and they have so much to pull from. They could pull up from Galaxy.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, and because Donkey Kong's in the world, like, you know, they could still have Donkey Kong part of the story. Maybe it could be King K. Rool as a big bad this time. Like,
bring King K. Rool back.
King Boo is in it too. Like they got options.
Yeah, for sure.
And Bowser's still a threat. If he escapes, and he probably will.
Yeah.
So you got so many options. They can do a lot.
Sure. I did read. They also like Nintendo announced that I forgot his name now. I think is it Chris Melandri, the basically the Illumination boss, is actually being put on Nintendo's board of directors now, which is crazy. So
big deal.
They got plans for
heavily involved.
Massively.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. Before we step away from the Mario movie talk, just one last thing. Do you think now that people are used to hearing Mario talk and Luigi and the rest, do you think that'll free them up to have them speak more in the games in the future? Not with Chris Pratt or anything like that, but just...
Yeah, probably not them. I don't want to say 100%, but I think it's on the cards. I don't need them to have voice acting though. I guess is my thing. But so let me explain. I want voice acting in Zelda because Zelda is a little bit more. We care a little bit more about the narrative in Zelda, right? But for Mario, it's a bit more simplistic. I actually really liked how they handled it in Odyssey. How there was acting, but it was kind of like Bowser wouldn't speak English. It was just kind of like, like I actually am okay with that. And Peach just speaks, but she only speaks like some words. They can do it. I wouldn't be mad if they did. I mean, they did it in Mario Sunshine, actually.
I was just about to say, Mario Sunshine did it,
Yeah. Mario wouldn't really talk that much, but everyone else would.
Yeah.
So, they can do it. I don't know. It would be interesting to see Mario have a voice. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'll
give you this. It's a little bit more. I'll say it's a little bit more likely, but I don't think it's guaranteed.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see the other characters probably more so than Mario himself, which I'd be more than happy with.
And he'll still say like or no, like some simple words here and there as he already does.
Charles Martinet is still gonna have a job for a while. Yeah, he's safe.
He's not out of the job. Yeah, exactly.
All right, people. So let me get rid of the spoiler alert. If you're waiting for us to finish talking about Mario, you are free to come back. I think you're going to see when you get back. We are going to move on to the big one, Nintendo's biggest game, of the year, but for a while. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a month away only now. It's just I think it's like 31 days. It's just over a month. It's becoming real. How do you feel about it? How excited are you? How do you think it's going to stack up against Breath of the Wild? Is there anything you're worried about, considering everything you've seen? Is there anything you want to see more of that we haven't seen?
There's tons of things that
Templor's like straight away, as soon as you said Zelda, let's go. That's it. He wants to know. That's it.
Yeah. There's tons of things I would like to see.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want to see the underground. I want to see the opening sequence. And it's okay if I have to wait until the game comes out for that. But I do want some explanation of what's going on. I want to know why. Like what I want to know what happened. Was Zelda dead? Did she fall down a hole?
Yeah.
I want to know. So like I do want to learn about the story, but I understand that we may have to wait until the game comes out for that. But they may give us some extra clues, at least so we can understand like why Link is doing what he's doing. Like, are they going to confirm if we're collecting the 7 tiers, right? Like, are we going to, if there are dungeons and things like that?
That's what I want to know. The dungeons.
Like yeah.
People are hungry for those.
There's speculation that Zelda might be playable or have a more active role.
Yes.
I'm not saying she's playable, but like whatever her role is, I want to understand what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious on.
Yeah, I've said for so long that Zelda is so badass that it's like why can we not get to play as her? Like I've said for so many years. And I remember there was an interview with Anuma years ago when he was asked about the possibility. This was when Breath of the Wild had just come out, and they asked him about the possibility of the game maybe being co-op, or a future Zelda being co-op. And he said it was something he thought about like really deeply, even for Breath of the Wild. But lack of time, all this kind of stuff. But that he would think about it going forward. And I don't expect the game's going to be co-op. But I wonder if there are certain sections where you can play it co-op, or like you said, you can at least play as Zelda in parts of the game.
Yeah, I think that's possible. The problem with that is that kind of it takes away from the open style, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if there are certain parts where you can only play as Zelda for small segments, it's kind of against that. But would that be cool?
Yeah,
it would be cool.
Yeah, oh man, that'd be incredible.
Be cool.
Like almost like Huma says, if it's basically more Breath of the Wild in a new environment, I'm down. Wouldn't mind a bit deeper combat system. Yeah, I know. I've been surprised actually that I've heard a few people, even like gaming journalists, even say that they're actually feeling a little underwhelmed by the fact that it's in the same map. But I just don't think it's even going to feel like that. I think the sky is populated. It's not just the odd Sky Island here and there. It's like, no, in every single shot of the 10-minute gameplay video, of every trailer, every single shot that points to the sky, they're massive. They're everywhere. They are in every single shot. They're countless. So you're going to be up in the sky for a large part of this game. The mining areas, there's like a hint that there will be underwater, hopefully.
Yeah. I hope, right? Like, I think there's a lot they can add there. The underground, I think people might be underestimating how massive that is.
Exactly.
Like, I think people are underestimating how massive the sky might be too, because so we don't know how much they're gonna do, but what we do know is this: the mini map has 3 different numbers for the 3 different axes. In the trailer and in the demonstration, Link is usually only around like 500-ish. I think the highest we see him go is like still under 2,000. That number can go up to 9,999 in terms of how high you can go. So in theory, the highest we were in the gameplay demonstration, Link can still go more than 5 times higher than that in the game. Now, we don't know if that's going to actually be the truth. That I'm just saying that based off the number, right? So what's at the top and what's in between, and then there's the entire map of Hyrule. Like, there's a lot of things they could fit in there. So there's tons of potential for a lot of areas there. And then they've added caves. We know 100% they have added caves on the surface. Like, we've seen a lot of holes.
Yeah.
There's new holes. Things have changed. Apparently, people have seen new lakes as well. And here's another element that I think some people might not be aware of. And this is a theory, so take it with a grain of salt. But I feel that there's a decent amount of evidence suggesting that we're going to be able to customize the world a little bit. Like
there was that line right there. Numa said himself, he flat out said that the way you play the game will alter the world, and no one really knew exactly what that meant.
Yeah, we can change. Like Breath of the Wild is more about exploring the world.
Yeah.
Here's the kingdom, we're changing the world.
Exactly.
And you look at for example, one of the abilities. Have you done your I know there's a trivia thing. Is it okay if I say the name of the abilities, or you want me to be quiet on that?
No, you can name it for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the abilities is recall, right? Yeah. So you can recall the time of a particular object. And I think it's actually going to have a lot of applications beyond what they've shown, but at least you're reversing an object. There's terrain on the land, and as you're exploring Hyrule, you're seeing these rocks fall into the land dynamically, and that changes the surface, and then you can reverse that object, right?
Yeah.
But then what else can Link recall? Like, for example, we see actually the kanji or the rune on his hand when he's using recall is the same symbol he has on his hand when the Master Sword is glowing in that scene where he's next to the yellow light. So he's using recall on the sword. So you might be trying to reverse the history of the sword. So if you can use recall on more than just like metal balls and rocks and on the sword, what else can he do?
Yeah.
What about some ruins?
Yeah.
What about some constructs like the ancient robots and time shift stones from Skyward Sword? So there's a lot of potential flexibility there.
Oh my God! Yes,
I'll go. Let me go further.
Go further, Andre.
I'll go further though, right? So I've talked about this before, but like at the end of the demonstration, Link lands next to a whole bunch of foundations for buildings.
Yeah,
like there's clearly reconstruction going on. And what's extra fascinating about this is when you consider that at the end of Breath of the Wild, Zelda says that they're going to focus on rebuilding Hyrule and perhaps beyond. That's already telling that there is this goal to rebuild Hyrule. We're seeing evidence of this. We've seen evidence already officially that they are building new houses and areas.
Yeah.
So can we manipulate that in some way? We have literally an ability to build.
Yeah.
And let's go another step further. We've seen a lot of ideas that they've tried to kind of bring back from Breath of the Wild, it looks like. For example, there was some ideas that they were thinking about for the Sheikah Slate that was going to incorporate like liquid energy.
Yeah.
And now instead of a Sheikah Slate, what do we have? We have like these green vials that have like this energy to it that might be related to battery power. So that's just one of many ideas they seem to be kind of bringing back. And the reason I bring this up is because the Terrytown quest, at one point they wanted to be more expansive. So now with 6 years of development, they're bringing back concepts, or incorporating some DLC ideas. we're seeing all these signs and story hints of more rebuilding and changing the world. What if there is like this big sort of Terrytown kind of quest throughout the world of Hyrule?
Yeah.
And it goes back to how you brought up earlier, how AJ Numa has said that this is a world we're going to change based off our imagination and creativity. So
and the possibilities that opens up, like, I mean, like,
of course, again, speculation. Right? Like, I provide a whole bunch of like things that I think support my argument, but we don't know it until they show it.
Yeah,
right. We don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's funny, like, because you can go check this out on YouTube. But when Breath of the Wild was released, there was a 4-part documentary about the game with interviews with Anuma and the other producers of the game, and they were basically highlighting all the ideas that they couldn't fit into the game, just purely on lack of time, because they spent so much on the physics engine that but one of them was that the kind of Minish Cap type town of, like, Tiny Link and these little villagers, and that's one of the ideas people think is going to be in this. There was so many ideas, so I am intrigued. I am intrigued to see if they do include dungeons again. I feel like they got ears. People, that's almost universally, people wanted those included. I
don't know for a fact, but I'm going to tell you, I believe there are dungeons.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, how will the dungeons be? Like, how will they feel to us? My opinion is that the dungeons are going to have a theme. I think they're going to have a theme, and I hope that the final bosses aren't just scourges like they were in Breath of the Wild.
See, I'm glad, because I caught some heat. I don't understand why, because I love Breath of the Wild. I love Breath of the Wild. I give it a 10. I give it a 10 probably. Maybe a 9, but I don't know. But this is where I caught heat. Well, this is where I caught heat.
I mean, but here's the thing. The game can be a 10, and you can still have criticisms.
Sure.
10,
for sure.
I don't think there's any such thing as perfection, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just there's greatness, but there's always room for improvement. There's always room for change or just different ideas. So I'm right there with you. Like, I love Breath of the Wild. Might be one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there aren't ways to improve it.
No, this is the thing. Like, so for me, I was in a Zelda discussion once, and I said it's not, as much as I love it, and I love it, it's not in my top 3 favorite Zelda games. And they're like, what? Okay. What do you mean? And I said, well, like, for me, it's probably Ocarina, and then Twilight, and then Wind Waker. And they're like, why? I was like, well, because there's things that Breath of the Wild does that I've never seen any game do. Like the physics engine and the way that works, and how you can manipulate it to overcome puzzles, and like, there's insane ones. I remember once seeing on YouTube a guy, there's that puzzle in one of the shrines where you have to move the blocks onto the electric conductors to open the door at the end. And the famous clip where the guy can't find the last block, but he puts his sword on the conductor and it opens the door. It's like, the game is full of stuff like that. It's unbelievable.
It rewards your creativity.
Exactly. Like, no game ever. Like, I don't know how many times I was in the puzzle and I thought, I wonder if this works. I wonder if I eat a hot pepper when I'm in the snow, it will keep me warm. And it does, like crazy stuff. But there are other things, and you touched upon it, that other Zelda games do far better. So, like, boss fights. Like, the boss fights in Twilight Princess, for example, are so imaginative and so epic, and I didn't feel like that in any of the boss fights. Even Ganon's fight, like the Ganon you fight in Ocarina or Wind Waker or Twilight are just like so memorable, and I didn't get that from the final fight with Ganon in Breath of the Wild. So
the overall bosses in Breath of the Wild are amazing. Like, the fact that there are bosses in the overworld, love that. My problem is the bosses in the dungeons. Like, those are the ones that need work.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to fight a giant dragon. I want to fight a giant squid. I want to fight something I don't know what it is, but I want it to be giant and cool. And I want it to be something that Breath of the Wild does better than every other Zelda game, though, is that it's difficult.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is challenging. You will die playing Breath of the Wild. Other Zelda games are a cakewalk.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that Twilight Princess had really good boss designs.
Yeah.
So if they could incorporate the Breath of the Wild difficulty, or maybe make it a little bit harder, since this is a sequel after all, and also bring in bosses for the dungeons that have kind of like those epic designs like Twilight Princess,
Yeah.
You merge those ideas, I think you have maybe the best game ever made.
Yeah, honestly, I think, and I think to your point, I think it's going to be more difficult. You know, there's like they hint at, you know, there's we see the goblins on top of the stone enemy. You know, and you think, oh god damn, you know, or the fact that they themselves now use the fusion, you know, and come at you with like, you know, different weapons, and they're more imaginative as well now. So you know, the fact, I know Templar's spoken about in one of his videos before, you know, that it looks. It's very heavily hinted that that you're going to be able to craft in Tears of the Kingdom. So you can see the goblins; they have like their kind of horns on the head that looks like break off, and it looks like you can maybe use them for weaponry.
I wonder, is that just, well, yeah, I guess that would that go beyond fusion, because I mean there are parts you pick up. Is that just for arrows, or can you craft weapons too? I think it's both somehow. Not sure exactly how, but I think it's both.
Yeah. You have.
Actually, I'll point this out that you might find interesting. I don't know if you've noticed. So, in when Anuma's exploring the surface of Hyrule,
yes,
so a change that not a lot of people may have picked up on is that the stable, while it looks pretty much the same, there's now smoke coming out of it. So why is there smoke coming out of it? That means they're heating something up inside the stable. Or so, I mean, it could just be maybe you cook inside the stable now, or maybe there's a blacksmith. Like it's just something I'm noting that maybe there's something there. I agree though. There's definitely a lot more crafting options.
Yeah, you can see that even parts of Breath of the Wild that were quite elementary, or you know, didn't have much depth. So I'm thinking of the Koroks. I think you touched upon this in your video, where you can actually see one of the Koroks that looks like he's on a mission. You know, like he's trying to get somewhere. Where actually, rather than just collect them, at least some of them might include side missions now. Which just, again, is another way of making that world just more alive and more engrossing, and just. You know, I know some people complain a little bit about Breath of the Wild and thought the world was vast but quite empty. You know, quite you know, and I feel like they're gonna find a lot more ways to really build life on every corner. Yes, and then you're always having something to do. You know, so that's what I'm excited about. Do you think we'll get a more in-depth story than Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well. It's tough. I believe yes. I think so. And I could be wrong, obviously, right? But I think the signs are there for it. A few different things. One, I think there's going to be a big narrative around the idea of the underworld and the sacred realm. I think the Sky Islands are hinting at the Sacred Realm. It's a golden land, as the Sacred Realm is described, and there's artwork for the Sacred Realm that's in the skies. And the Triforce went missing at the end of Breath of the Wild is somewhere in the Sky Islands, the Sacred Realm, right? And then you have the dragons. So you have that potential motif. I think that's related to the logo, actually, of how the two dragons are rotating. I don't think it's an Ouroboros. I think it's this idea of a cycle between the heavens and the underworld.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it could still be an Ouroboros at the same time. It could have a double meaning, you know?
Yeah.
So I think there's that. But also, this is a very little thing, but I think it supports what I'm just kind of talking about, because like the Tears of the Kingdom OLED has a Triforce. It's a part of the promotional material.
Yeah.
It could just be there because, Zelda, let's slap a Triforce on there. But it also might be hinting that the Triforce might be kind of important, right? Because the Triforce is fitted in the middle of like the Ouroboros, so there might be something there. I say Ouroboros, the circle, the dragon circle, right? I argue it's not an Ouroboros because an Ouroboros is a snake or a dragon eating itself, but it's two dragons with their mouths closed, circling each other. So it's maybe not an Ouroboros, although it's definitely similar. But then going beyond that, like you remember that trailer where they showed like the wall with the different glyphs and the carvings.
Exactly.
Like that to me is all story implications, right? That's a whole story implications. Heck, the first teaser is a whole bunch of story implications and history there. And the fact that you're introducing Ganondorf, I think that plays a big role, and also supports the idea of a Triforce returning too. But then when you think about that it feels like these events are current.
Mm,
I think that's going to help the story as well, because a lot of the story in Breath of the Wild already happened in the past. This story seems to be happening in the current,
exactly. Yeah.
so it's going to be, the stakes may feel a little bit higher. Zelda even talked. We assume it's Zelda because her voice is the same in the trailer, but she talks about how Link might not be able to beat the forces of evil this time, right?
Exactly.
And that's building up the stakes to be higher. I think that's supporting a more a better story overall. So I think there are signs supporting it, right? But also, to counter my own points here, like we thought the story for Breath of the Wild might be amazing, right? Because beforehand we had all this history of previous Zelda games, and then when we saw that last trailer that put all the flashbacks together, it made it look like the most amazing Zelda movie ever.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing trailer, and the game's amazing, but the story is not what's amazing.
No,
about Breath of the Wild.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. That trailer. I remember thinking, God, this is gonna have the most epic story, and it wasn't really like that. I think the only story we got was like in the memories. I did see Melinda, you mentioned in there, and I know you've spoken about this before, Andre. It was the Zonai.
Confirmation of Zonai.
That's it. That's it. They're going to be. I know Templar's spoken about that before as well. That's going to be huge. That's going to be really, really cool. I do expect that.
I believe they showed it on purpose. I don't think it was an accident that we saw Zonai confirmed. I think when they showed us demonstration, they wanted us to like analyze every little detail and spot subtle things.
Yeah.
I think seeing the dragons flying around the background like that was intentional.
Yeah, everything they show is intentional. Everything. Yeah. Like those 10-minute, gameplay things. They're super, super edited. They know exactly what they're showing you. Nothing's by accident. Like the Korok that's in the back. They know that's in the background. They know They know people are gonna analyze the footage nonstop and find stuff. So like, I think it's gonna be. Do you think we're gonna get another direct before the release? I know there was rumors today. I've read rumors today again that there's going to be another direct.
Yeah.
Because I'm just expecting a trailer.
Remember how I told you a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
And I heard something, and I trusted the source, but I didn't want to just say for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is as good as that.
Yeah.
But, but I have reason to think maybe I don't know. I honestly don't know, right? So I don't want to be like, hey guys, my uncle told me he works at Nintendo.
My uncle Nintendo, yeah.
No, but what I'll say is my content creator friend Mike Odyssey, who put out the story initially.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he has a few different people who told him that something's coming. But sometimes plans can change, or there can be leak bait out there. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt regardless. But that said, I think there's a good chance of something. I think so. I think I talked about it in my video today, but when you listen to the end of the presentation, Anuma says something. Actually, I have in my notes here when I was working on the video. I wrote it down. He says, right at the end of the gameplay, he says, "There's still so many things I would like to show you, but let's leave it at that for now."
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't say. Yeah. That doesn't say, "Hey, that's all we're going to show you till the game comes out." Yeah.
See it release.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
No, to me that says, "There's more coming, boys and girls."
I don't know if I want to see more, Andre. I'm almost happy with like a final trailer. Like I'm almost like.
Well, maybe. I mean, hey, even a final trailer would be pretty good.
That would be amazing. Yeah. That's all I want. Yeah. Because I heard someone say something before, and I thought I completely agree with and with what they said, which was even in the 10-minute gameplay direct that they released, it looks as though from one hand they showed you a lot, but they didn't really. They showed you that you have 4 new abilities, and they were still being so careful about what they showed you. And but what that says to me,
that's the beginning area, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but what that says to me is that they are ultra confident with what they have with Tears of the Kingdom. I think to me that just shows how confident that like a month before they are still really trying not to show you much. And that's what gets me really excited. They're being this cautious even now. and just barely showing you the bare minimum of anything. To me,
I bet they can give us like another 15 to 20 minute like direct.
Yeah.
And we'll watch it. We'll think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, it was so cool. There's so much to analyze and talk about. But at the same time, we'll be like, huh, they still barely told us anything, though. Like, I think they can. I mean, think about this. Breath of the Wild, we had hours of gameplay footage.
Yeah.
But we still knew so little about the game when we actually played it. They pretty much told us about the Great Plateau. They hinted at the shrines and the divine beasts, and we had a couple trailers that were like 3.5 minutes.
I mean, they would show the towers and stuff like that, and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
like we understood what Breath of the Wild was more than what we understand Tears of the Kingdom is. I would say. Yeah. But it was still like a massive world of discovery, right? Like I don't think Nintendo spoiled Breath of the Wild really with what they showed us. So personally, I'm gonna watch anything Nintendo releases officially. Like that's what I'm gonna do. Right? But it's also part of my job. So I mean,
even if I didn't want to, like I don't have the willpower. Yeah. Like if it's there, I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. I'll probably.
But if you don't want to spoil yourself, like you don't have to watch it.
No, right? That's true. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. All right. So what's time? We've got like, let's say another 15 minutes. I don't want to keep you up too much. Like I said, it's honor to have you here. As we are talking about Zelda, of course, that is the biggest game for the year. That you've mentioned this in the video. I think it was today I watched it. Saying that after Zelda, we're looking at Pikmin of confirmed titles. We're looking at Pikmin 4 for their next big hit, and then nothing, for the rest of the year. They're confirmed for now. Pikmin 4 though. I'm telling you, if I had to choose right now, Pikmin is like one of my favorite franchises. I'm telling you, if I had to choose between that and Tears of the Kingdom, I don't want to upset people, but Pikmin's special to me.
Hey, listen, you're entitled to your opinion.
I'm entitled
You're wrong,
to
though.
opinion.
I'm kidding.
I love those little creatures.
I'm actually really excited for Pikmin 4 too. I think Pikmin 4 looks incredible.
Bro, that little dog, the little puppy. Oh my days.
I'm warming up a Pikmin 3 run soon. Like
Are you? Oh god damn, that game's incredible.
Yeah.
That game's incredible.
I think my plan before Tears of the Kingdom comes out is to play through Pikmin 3 and Breath of the Wild before. So. Oh
yeah, man. Pikmin 4. I gave up on that. I just thought, we've been waiting for this forever. We got that 3DS one, which wasn't really like a Pikmin game, and I thought, something got lost in translation. There's no Pikmin 4. And then when they revealed it, that direct, I lost my mind. God damn it, I'm stoked. That is the game I'm most anticipating, above anything. So I'm very excited for that. For me, is like the holiday game. But this is where the speculation begins, because now I've got on record. I've lost many a bet. In fact, I've lost a bet to Templar, which because of that, now I have to play Tears of the Kingdom on day one dressed up as Tingle, because I bet him that there would be a Switch Pro this year, of which clearly there is not. And then I bet him there was going to be a Switch 2 by the end of this year, which...
The year's not over yet.
It's over yet, but we can hope. But I got a big mouth. It's the point. Of course, the rumors that now they're starting to get out of control, because it does seem like every other day there are like spec rumors, the release dates, chip news on possible chips, no Switch Pro anymore. Everyone's moving straight to the Switch 2. I've always been one to believe in this. I've always because it's been 6 years of the Switch. Obviously the PS5, new consoles will come out. How would they get third parties to get their games on the Switch now? All this kind of stuff made me think, okay, surely it's on the horizon. Surely it's going to come out this year. But I did hear something that did make me wonder if that would be the case. And that was actually to do with Zelda. That if there was the Switch 2, let's say, planned for the holiday season, would they not just then delay Zelda to launch it with that? And the fact that they haven't makes me think, oh god, maybe there is no Switch 2, unless, I think you hinted at this, unless they have another big game to release with it, a new Mario game, which is long overdue. It's 5 years. I think it's 5 years now since Odyssey came out.
So let's think of it like Tears of the... So this is me. We'll try and consider both sides of the conversation here, right? Because there's two different angles, right? There's it not happening and it is happening. But I'll talk about it happening first, and then we'll talk about the other argument that why it won't be happening.
Yeah,
right? Like we don't know though. The point is we don't know for sure until it happens. But Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo announced back in 2019. Well, I mean, technically, we knew they were working on the next Zelda back in 2017 because they said then, but they confirmed it was a direct sequel in 2019, right? And they were in development. But it's a direct sequel, right?
Yeah.
It is based off Breath of the Wild. It's not. It. What I'm trying to be careful about is I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be Game of the Year. I think it has potential to be considered one of the greatest games ever. I think I'm even still in the camp that it could even potentially beat Breath of the Wild in terms of sales. We'll see. That's gonna be a tough thing to do.
I was gonna ask you that because I wonder.
It's tough. It's gonna be tough, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible. Is my main point there with that, right? Point is, basically, I'm just saying I think Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be amazing, but you can look at Tears of the Kingdom and think, okay, but it's not an immense jump in technology, right? Yes, the abilities and what they've I'm not saying obviously there's incredible physics stuff going on there, but it's kind of an evolution of Breath of the Wild, right?
Yes.
When Breath of the Wild came out, it was this massive, massive leap for Nintendo. So people wanting to play the first true modern HD open world Zelda game on a Nintendo system that was both a home console and a portable at the same time, but could give you that the TV level graphics, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of wording it for the mainstream audience, right? Because obviously we're a console, but that idea was a huge selling point. Tears of the Kingdom isn't that, because Tears of the Kingdom is running on the same tech as Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Granted, Switch is more capable than Wii U, and I think that's why we're seeing the Sky Islands and some of those things. I think it overall is more technically impressive.
Yes.
But to the casual eye, it's about the same, just a little different, right? Yeah. And so my point is with this, Tears of the Kingdom is not as big of a console pusher in 2023 as Breath of the Wild was in 2017.
Yeah.
That's the only point I'm making with it. I still think Tears of the Kingdom could even maybe be considered a better game. We'll see. Jury's out on that, right? But it's going to compete with Breath of the Wild.
Sure.
That's my main point. But a new Mario game, which historically, if it's not Zelda, it's Mario. It's one or the other. Those are two games Nintendo has pushed hardware with that have been successful. Sometimes they do other things and the launches kind of flop. So a new Mario game, though, at this point, because they haven't announced Mario Odyssey 2, I don't think it's based on Mario Odyssey 2. I think they've moved on to something else bigger. Yeah. And I think that's obviously they've been working on it. The question is when it's going to come. When you consider the Mario movie has just come out and the success it's having, many people have been speculating that they would announce a new Mario game to line up with the movie, and they haven't yet. So when this Mario game does come, because I do believe it, I mean, I actually think Miyamoto was alluding to it a few weeks ago, like a week or so ago, which is a whole other conversation. But
but I agreed with you. I think he was hinting at it for sure.
Yeah, some people have argued otherwise, but I can only argue so many things at once, right? But the point is, if there's a Mario game coming, when it comes, especially if it's not based off Odyssey, but of something new, something more advanced, maybe for newer hardware, and you have this excitement behind the Mario movie, more attention are going to be on the next Mario announcement. Which, by the way, that's why I think it was a tease when Miyamoto was asked, when's the next Mario game? And he said, I can't tell you much right now, but tune into future Nintendo Directs, which sounds like a nothing burger, but consider that he could have just said, we're always working on
Mario. Which is what they usually say
in the future.
Yeah.
Right. But instead he said, pay attention to Directs.
Yeah.
Which for the core gamer like us, obviously there's more Directs, right? But keep in mind that interview is for the large mainstream audience that doesn't necessarily watch Nintendo Directs.
Exactly.
So the movie audience is going to be like, oh, there's a Mario game coming in this Nintendo Direct. Okay. It's going to turn the attention of the mainstream towards the next Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's a tease. So with that all said, we consider that, okay, so is there a new Mario announcement coming soon? And you're going to have this game to come out to be pushed by the movie. that seems to kind of line up for a holiday release,
Yeah.
and that would be the ideal time to push a new system. But maybe they just do a 2D Mario this year, and then they save 3D Mario for next year or later when they want to do that new system, right? Like they can do that. But there's also the Pokemon leak.
Yeah.
So there was a leaker that provided all the details of the DLC before the Pokemon Presents came out, and it was all 100% correct. Some very detailed, specific things. And then at the end of it, they said, and they're working on a graphics enhancement patch for Wave 2
That's
of the DLC.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, Wave 2 comes out sometime between December and March, it looks like.
Yeah.
And that implies that the system will probably could be out before then. So maybe as early as this holiday. That would be the earliest, but it could come out maybe early next year too.
Yeah.
So that's maybe some of the credible things suggesting that like a system could come out this holiday. That I think that would be the absolute earliest, right?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, some people might argue, oh, but the Switch is still doing really well right now. Why push a new system so soon? Let the Switch do well. But I would counter that by saying Nintendo, whenever they're transitioning, they're going to have another platform that's kind of still working alongside of it. Like the 3DS was still selling systems and games a few years into Switch.
The Switch, yeah.
There were still like some remasters and remakes Nintendo was publishing in 2019 for the 3DS. So
yeah, they had a massive Metroid game as well, like even by the end of its life cycle. So they were still putting big games on there.
2017.
Yeah,
you're right. I think I remember playing. I was like, man, I wish this was for Switch.
Yeah.
But they did it for 3DS.
I felt really bad for the developers because I feel like most people thought that. They're like, God damn it, why isn't this on the Switch though? So yeah. I mean, like my whole thing with why we haven't seen a new Donkey Kong or a new Mario yet, despite the fact it's been 5 years. I remember when they were transitioning from the Wii U to the Switch, and they delayed the process, and what they did was they spent their time making sure that they had enough content for the first year of the Switch so that they would come out strong out the gate. So like, I think if you remember, I think it was like every 6 weeks they had a big game. They had like Zelda came out, then Mario Kart Deluxe came out, then they had ARMS, then they had Splatoon 2, they had the Mario Odyssey. There was like every 6 weeks, 8 weeks they had a big game come out. So they staggered everything so they would be able to plan that first year. And I wonder if they are trying to do that for the Switch too, because the thing about Nintendo is as well, even as successful, when they do release a console that's really successful, I always still get the impression, I always fear that when they do release a new console, they still are in this position where they have to convince the EAs, the Activisions, to release games, the big ones on their console. I feel like when Sony and Microsoft release a machine, it's a given. They've got that support no matter what. They have that I don't know, I suppose, credit to the name, I guess. They've built that credit amongst those developers. But I always feel like, Nintendo always have to have that kind of relationship where they're like, the developers, the big publishers, like, well, we'll wait and see. Let's see how this machine comes out the gate. And I don't know. I don't think it will be as pronounced, like, like when the Wii was the huge success it was. Some publishers did jump on the Wii U and they exited, really quick. So the sales looked bad. They exited, and then it took. I don't think people appreciate how long it took for some publishers to jump on the Switch. Like, Nintendo was really smart that first year because they carried that console by themselves, Nintendo. It took a long time to get a Doom, to get a Witcher 3, to get a Dying Light. We've just gone, we still don't have a Call of Duty, for example, or Assassin's Creed.
Although now it looks like that's going to be, Call of Duty is going to be coming. But I'm excited. Maybe in time for Switch 2, right? So,
yes. But that's the only thing that worries me, is that whether Nintendo think, it's not going to be as hard as when the Switch came out, but we still might have to convince some really big publishers that, look, we know what we're doing now. The Switch wasn't a fluke. We know that our next system is going to be just as popular, just as big. But I do feel like they're going to be in a position where they might have to. And I feel like that's why we haven't seen these big games. And I think that they're getting it ready for when their new machine is out and they have that support for the first year.
I think that's interesting. Because, I think Nintendo has continued to do a great job of having games for us to play pretty much every month. from them. There's tons of games coming out on Switch all the time, but just in terms of like from Nintendo, like published titles.
Yes.
They pretty much average a game every month. They've done that throughout the entire Switch cycle. And I personally think that they're going to kind of maintain that throughout the year. I know some people have argued, that after season was going to be a little shallow. I think that's been a little bit of a misinterpretation. I think there won't be like, there's not going to be a 3D Mario coming out in June, but we got some stuff coming out for the next few months. And some people have actually doubled down saying, actually, well, Andy Robinson has actually retracted some of those comments and saying he thinks that it's just going to be kind of more later into the year, supporting the idea there may be some big releases at the holiday, maybe to line up with something like that. That's possible.
There's still rumors that Metroid Prime 4 is finished as well. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like we would have seen something. I've started to kind of shift my belief into maybe that is a Switch 2 title, a big showcase title for the new console.
I'll tell you that I personally, I mean, maybe that's where the rumor came from, because I heard that Metroid Prime 4 was complete, right? So I put out that video. But just because it's complete doesn't mean Nintendo's going to come out with it, right? Like Nintendo holds back on games sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think that us seeing Prime Remaster come out is a sign that they know when Prime 4 is coming out. So either it's done or it's close to being done, so they can control when it's coming out. So they already have an idea. Oh, okay, this is when we're going to come out with it. So we can start putting out the other Metroid Prime games to kind of excite fans, make them aware, and get them ready. So I do think we're closer than some people may realize because of that. Now, when it comes out, that's still a tough call, because even if it is done, Nintendo's going to put it out when they think it makes sense. They might wait a year. It might just keep it in a shelf until it's time.
Yeah.
And maybe for the next system. So that might push it later. So those are possibilities.
It's exciting. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think Nintendo's done a great job of having games come out like almost every month. I think something that's kind of interesting is that they haven't had like a big epic holiday game every holiday. Like it's been good games, but nothing that's like, I would say like their top tier.
Yeah.
Right. Like
what was it last year?
So last year we had Pokemon.
It was Pokemon. Yeah.
Right. Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
So Pokemon is made by Game Freak, right?
Yeah.
Technically not Nintendo.
No.
Bayonetta 3 is made by Platinum Games. Technically not Nintendo. Now they publish both those things.
Yeah.
They're good products, but they're not Nintendo. And we also had Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which was actually developed by Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And Nintendo only published it in some regions.
Yeah.
There wasn't an internal Nintendo project that pushed last holiday. And then I think about 2021, we had Metroid Dread, we had Mario Party, we had Shin Megami Tensei 5, and there was another game that came out within that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because they published Xenoblade 3, Chronicles 3, and they definitely published that.
That they did. The Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is made by Monolith, which is part of Nintendo.
Yeah.
So that's the Nintendo game, but that came out in July.
Yeah.
And Splatoon came out in September. My point is that if you look over the last few years, they've made sure to have games, good games.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen like what Nintendo EPD is
exactly
working on, like the big teams.
The big team.
We haven't seen what they've been working on.
Yeah.
You exclude Xenoblade and Splatoon. We haven't seen too many major internal Nintendo projects. I mean, now we're getting Tears of the Kingdom. That's one of their biggest ones, but
but it was like you say,
supposedly a Donkey Kong team, a Mario team,
exactly, Mario Kart team, exactly. Yeah,
right. We haven't seen a game from them.
No, I think
ARMS.
That's
in
it.
2017.
Exactly.
The entire Switch generation.
Exactly.
We don't know. Monolith Soft.
Yeah.
Actually, has been working on more than one project. What is that?
Yeah.
We don't know.
No, exactly.
So
exactly.
There's some games. That.
Yeah. Do you think
they've been holding back on?
Do you think there'll be a big? Obviously, there's no E3, but you think typically every June there's a Nintendo Direct. I feel like there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a big one. There's a big Nintendo Direct this June.
Yeah. It's hard to say because Nintendo they're so weird, but the fact of the matter is this. The only game after Tears of the Kingdom that's slated publicly is Pikmin 4.
Pikmin 4, yeah.
In July. So I think they have to. I think there's announcements coming in June.
Yeah.
How they make those announcements, that's up in the air.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe they could be boring and just be like, oh well, here's a Twitter trailer of F-Zero coming out in August, which I would still be excited for.
Yeah.
I would be. I mean, F-Zero is going to be exciting to see, like when that comes. But I like seeing the directs. I like seeing that presentation.
Yeah.
And they are going to have the Xenoblade DLC and Splatoon DLC. I bet they're going to kind of use that a little bit to kind of for some lighter months potentially as well. I
wonder if we even see Tears of the Kingdom DLC even that early announced. That'll be interesting. A couple of months after release.
I think there will be DLC, but there's a chance maybe they wait.
Yeah. Oh God!
I actually kind of.
Sorry, go.
What?
Oh no! I just realized someone said something, and I thought, oh my God, how could I not mention this? Surely we're gonna get finally the HD versions of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Surely that's gotta be around the corner. It's been so damn long. Also, some of you asked about the giveaway. We're gonna do that in a few minutes' time. Now we're coming up to the end. We just get this out of the way, and then we'll do the giveaway. But surely we get those. For sure. Those have been done for a while.
My opinion is that the reason why they didn't release them is because they realized that after Tears of the Kingdom, they're going to have a really big gap between that and the next Zelda.
Yeah.
And they wanted to save some software to kind of tide things over. So they're going to use games like that to give us something, because whenever we do get the DLC, what happens after that, right? Like, I think they give us a 2D Zelda, but maybe at some point they give us Twilight Princess and Moonmaker. And we may wait so long for Twilight Princess and Moonmaker, we get them at upscaled to 4K at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
That'd be so nice. Someone in the chat mentioned, this is another rumor that just came and disappeared, but the Resident Evil Revelations 3, that was rumored for so long, and that rumor's just died off now, so who knows what happened. I
wonder if that was just like canceled or something.
Yeah. Because that was so long ago, and I would have loved that. I would have loved for Capcom to release something exclusively on the Switch. All right then. Okay, we're coming to the end. Before we say goodbye, we'll do this giveaway. These people, they're like say at the mouth, frothing at the mouth. These people for a giveaway. Okay, the Nightbot does seem to be working. So what we're gonna do is everyone who, let me just double check it here. I can check it actually here. The Nightbot. Oh, it is working. It is working. Okay. So those of you who, it's going to be all of you. Those of you who want to be entered for the giveaway, just type, anything. You can type whatever you want. Just say, giveaway. Type giveaway in the chat. I'll give it a minute. Make sure that everyone's name. Because at the moment I can see almost like Human, Aroto, Azula, Dylan, Editor, Emily, Gerby Geek, Melindy, Nedson, Sabertooth, Typer, Templo Zeldero, Terrence. So if I haven't called your name and you want to be entered, I'll still give you another minute. Just type in giveaway, and then hopefully the Nightbot will do its thing. Let me just go here, make sure I can see everything. Okay, so we'll look at all of them. Editor, you don't even have a Switch. What are you talking about? He's a PC player. Bless him. Oh my God. What's the, when you're not playing Nintendo games, Andre, what's the last game you played that wasn't a Switch game?
I think it was Resident Evil Village.
Oh yes. Have you played? Have you played 4 yet?
Not yet. I need to.
It is good, man.
I need to badly.
It is.
I think I'm waiting for that Switch 2 version this Christmas.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
That's a joke.
Hell yeah.
It's actually a wish. It's a wish.
That's the headline. Yeah. Andre from Andre Restart confirms Switch 2.
I have no idea. I'm just a fan, bro.
I hope, man. That's probably that's my top 3 favorite franchise of Resident Evil games for sure. Yeah. Like anything horror is amazing. Okay, no harm in Editor. Oh, honestly, like, have you played? Like, well, I'll say this. I was gonna do a video soon on like the best impossible ports on the like those miracle impossible ports.
That's a good idea.
So I have my favorite, which happens to be Dying Light, because Dying Light is one of my favorite games, anyways. And when I first got the Switch, it's the game that I most hoped would appear on the Switch. That and Alien Isolation, and we got both. So like for me, I was like, oh.
Yeah. I need to play Alien Isolation. I think it's only like $20 in the eShop too. It's a really good deal.
Dude, have you never played it?
I haven't.
Bro, you should so stream that. It is terrifying. Like the clips you'd get from that game is incredible. But Dying Light is it's the best port. I know people talk about Doom, and those games are incredible ports. But Dying Light is a massive open world game that has the same frame rate as its counterparts on PS4 and Xbox. There's like not that much pop-in. It's so smooth. It's got all the same content. It's unbelievable. I don't know. No one talks about that as impossible port. Is insane to me. All right, it looks like everyone. Someone said it. Dying Light port is technically really impressive. It is the most impressive. It's unbelievable. I don't know how they did that. Okay, we're about to roll it now. Oh my god, yeah, all the names are here. All the names are here. Right, get ready, people. The Nightbot is going to do its thing. We're going to congratulate someone. Just make sure that you're sub, that you follow me either on Twitter or on Discord. Both links are in the description below. That way, I can message you with your code, with your game. And then we can sort it all out. Don't forget, if you don't win today, we are giving away the other copy on the 11th, which I think is the day before the game is released. So, and I will again advertise that, beforehand regularly. Right, everyone ready? Everyone's ready? Okay, yep, everyone. Yep, I'm seeing all the same names. All right, we're gonna roll it now. Good luck to everyone, peoples. Right, let's roll it. Right, I've seen it pop up. This is going to pop up in the chat. There you go. Mike Odyssey has one. Oh, I just clicked. Did I click off? Are you still there, Andre?
I'm here.
He's still there. Why can't I see? He's just disappeared. He's disappeared. Oh, wait. He's not. I don't know why he's not. He's just gone away.
I'm here.
He's there.
Can you hear me?
You can hear him. I don't know how he's disappeared. But hold on. Before we get Andre back, massive congratulations. Who was it? It was Mike Odyssey, wasn't it? Mike Odyssey. Oh, wait. What's he saying? Pick another winner? Why?
It's like pick another winner.
Pick another winner? Why don't you want it? People are going to be happy about this. Hold on. We're trying to get Andre back still. Hold on. Why can't I see Andre? What is going on here? He's just disappeared. I don't know what. If I call you back, will I see you? I don't want to.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're still there.
There I am. I see it. I think I'm popping back.
Let's see if you're. Oh, there you go. He's back. He's back. He's back. Well, okay, this is the time to end it. All right, so do we do it again? We'll do it again. Why doesn't Mike want it? Are you sure, Mike Odyssey?
He just wants to support the stream.
Oh, hold on. He doesn't. Hold on.
He's here to support. He wants.
Oh, that's way too kind. Hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on, my friend. Are you sure? Everyone,
says roll it.
Roll it. All right. Everyone else in the chat, like, yeah, roll it. All right, we're gonna do it now. We're gonna roll it again, peoples. Get ready. Hold on. Can we even do it? All right, I'm gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again, people. All right. Okay, let's do it. There we go. It's gone through. Has it been announced? There you go. Mostly Martinez is there. Andre's disappeared again. I don't know why.
I'm still here.
I can see it, yeah. Hold on. I think that's got you back in. Yeah, there you go. There he is. Right, so there you go. Congratulations, Mostly Martinez. I know we are friends on Twitter. I know that. I recognize you for sure. So I shall message you after the stream. Let me get rid of the spoiler. Well, I'll leave the spoiler there anyways. Congratulations to you. Again, if you haven't won this time, do not panic. We will do another one on the 11th, I believe. I think Andre's frozen, but I'm pretty sure he's still here with us.
I'm here.
Yeah, he's still there. He's just frozen. He's cool. All right, so look, lastly, I want to say a massive thank you, Andre, from Andre's Restart. Dude, it's been a huge pleasure for me to have you on the podcast. I think your knowledge for not just Zelda but all things Nintendo is just amazing. It's always really interesting to listen to your theories and your in-depth analysis of these games and just Nintendo overall. Like I said, I came across your videos just over a month ago, and I watch all of them. I think they're incredible. I urge everyone, again, Andre's channel is pinned at the top of the chat. I urge you to check out his channel, give it a sub. You will not be disappointed, honestly. Even if Zelda or anything Nintendo based, it's more than worth your time. And he's like, honestly, I don't know how you pump out so much content, but he does. He's pumping out content every single day. And his channel is thriving. He's like flying towards 25K. So go help him out. and give him a sub, people. Give him a massive thank you in the chat also. Yes, when are you streaming next, or when are you uploading next? What can you expect to see from you, Andre?
Hopefully it comes out on time, but I typically do videos every day. So hopefully something's out around noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Perfect.
You might be surprised, but it may be Pikmin related.
What? There you go, people.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Andre is going to talk about the best game Nintendo's ever made. God bless him. So make sure you go check that out tomorrow. I will be checking it out. I'll make sure to.
Don't be mad if I change plans last minute to something else. I can't guarantee it.
The title would just be Pikmin 4 overrated.
Oh man!
Imagine.
Oh man!
ATB gets upset.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout outs to Mike Odyssey in the chat. He's a friend too.
Mike Odyssey,
another Nintendo YouTuber.
Go check. Hold on. Shame on me. Hold on. Who's I was gonna say a moderator. Let's get Mike Odyssey's channel here. Hold on. Mike Odyssey. God bless him. Let me grab your channel, my good friend, before anyone else.
I'm shouting out Mike Odyssey. He's calling me a bum.
Okay. I've subscribed. I'm just grabbing your link. I like the banner. The banner's awesome. And I'm just putting it in the chat now. So before we go, people, go check out Michael Odyssey's. Hold on, let me get it. Let me put it in the chat. Where the hell's the chat gone? Let me just do this. There we go. Okay, so bam, there we go. It's in the chat. Go check out Mike Odyssey's channel as well. I've subscribed to you, my good friends. So I'm going to check out your content. And it just leaves me once again to say, everyone, hope you all have an awesome night. Hold on, before you can see Andre says that. There you go. I will be back tomorrow. Oh, hold on. Let me just make sure I can see. Hold on. There you go. Right, cool. I will be back tomorrow, everyone. So have an awesome night. Again, go check out Andre's channel, dude. Thank you so much for being with us. And have a good night, everyone. Catch you later. Bye, everyone.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.